You're watching my favorite YouTube channel, Transformers Rise of the Beast. That voice makes this movie. The Optimus Prime voice is epic. When I got to hear the Maximal Optimus Primal voice as well to match, I remember that scene where they say, Autobots, Maximals, roll out. They say that together, the music is pumping and everyone's running at the same time. And the good guys, when Cheetor and the Rhinosaur, what's the Rhinosaur mean? When that guy maximized, took me back to when I was watching Beasties as a kid on YTV. The nostalgia hit was what we watched this movie for. It satisfied that. The plot of the movie, it's nothing sophisticated. The good guys have to find a doohickey, and then they found it. It turns out that actually it was cut in half. So there's going to be a second chance now to find the other half. Usually it's in video game movie type things. It's like you find the one, you find the second in the second act, and now we got to go to the third act to get it. That's how it usually goes. It was, not sophisticated. Nothing impressive here when it comes to the plot there. But I still enjoyed it. I still liked for what it was. It was a quick movie. Could have been longer. But then when you think about how expensive it is to animate a lot of those faces, the Transformers, and there were a lot of them. When you think about the price of that, fine. I guess we couldn't extend the movie length. The human characters here, when we watch movies like King Kong and Godzilla, and we're there for the monsters, but they spend so much time on the humans, and I didn't feel that way at all. Maybe because some of the human parts were he in a suit, Noah, the main character, and then Elena was she didn't bug me. She wasn't there for extensive. Let me get there. Let me get to this point. So the human characters were good, right? Let me get to this one point. Sometimes in movies, they'll cast and they'll utilize, or they'll have a diversity quota, meaning that there can't be too many white people, we can't have too many men, there needs to be a female, there needs to be a person from this ethnicity, so that we're not being racist. So that's how they think, right? Well, what happens when you cast a Latino in your lead, and then the supporting character next up is a female, and she's black? Tick, tick, tick on the check boxes. We've satisfied that. There was never a scene with an extra character that was unneeded just for the sake of, well, we got to show that we're not a bigoted company. They actually did it. They did it. With things like Clamor for. When I'm upset at some of these movies, like remember when we all watched the Obi-Wan Kenobi on the Star Wars TV show? And we were wondering why is so much time being dedicated to Reva? That would be Moses Ingram's character. And we're like, yeah, it's probably because the show runners decided and realized we have too many white characters in here and we can't do a racism, so we got to put in somebody here, a person of color. And my answer is, unless your lead is that, it doesn't change that Obi-Wan Kenobi was a white guy show. Whoever you were trying to satisfy or please, you didn't, because I'm not. I think they do diversity studios like that, do it for the sake of we gotta not be racist so they can sleep better at night, but they don't realize what they did to do was just take away from a story. They weaponized the diversity to those who don't want it, so now they can view it as that thing that takes away from whites, and they overall don't even help because all you're doing is making supporting characters get 10 minutes of screen time. That bogs the story down. It doesn't really progress anything anywhere. You want to do something Star Wars? How about a black female cast as your lead of the next movie? That'd impress me. Back to the Transformers. I was going to say Transformers universe. They're combining two franchises here with G.I. Joe, as we saw at the ending of the movie. The G.I. Joe connection came out of nowhere. Oh, don't use your real name, Noah. Don't use the full thing over the radio. We got to use our code names. You're Sonic and I'm Tails. Good touch. And one of the people were Knuckles. Mirage. Mirage was called Knuckles one time. I checked my computer to see when the video game with Knuckles showed up, and yes, it was 1994, just like the movie. I thought I found an error. The G.I. Joe guys just came out of nowhere at the ending, and I don't care. I'm fine with that. If we're going to combine franchises and connect things, let's go. The problem is continuity. There were a couple of buffs errors here in this movie. The Autobots and Bumblebee and some of the things that, what's his name said, Optimus Prime said in prior movies didn't sync up here. Humans are not supposed to know that there's actually Transformers amongst them. The first time they were supposed to see it was in that Shia LaBeouf movie in like '07. That was when we were supposed to be like, aware of the Autobots, humankind. So they kind of effed up there. Just do continuity properly with your G.I. Joe franchise. That's all I'm asking for. Okay, Hasbro, the toy company, owns the rights to both. It's kind of unforeseen, kind of unpredictable. But look, the Transformers movie now, it has made a little bit of money. I think it's at 400 million worldwide. It might need more. It will need more than that to become a profitable movie. I'm looking at it right now. It's at 341 million. So no, it's not profitable yet, and it might not get there. But at the same time, it's a Paramount movie, and maybe Paramount will sell it to Netflix, and they'll make a little bit of money off of the movie there. There's going to be collectors who want to get the whole DVD set, so maybe some DVD sales or Blu-ray sales will make it a profitable film. We know that toys are going to sell because it's a Transformers franchise, so maybe they can justify making only $341 million. Right now, I'm reviewing it after 18 days at the box office, so they got one more meaningful weekend, I think, that they can make a little bit of change with that movie. I talked about the financials, talked about the story was pretty basic. The animals were great. That twist where Optimal has to kill off the bird, the blindside with the bird. Damn. And you know how they turned the camera away right when he did the final blow, right? That's because even like a robotic animal, we can't have any of that violence. It's probably going to make it not a PG film anymore. What can I add to this? There was Elena's character being very smart, figuring out the hieroglyphics. I like the reasoning for the tunnels are so small that a transformer can't get through, which is why the humans were needed to the final scene. And then the final scene when Noah was like, he had a choice to destroy the key, the holographic key doohickey, decided not to. So he's like an ally to the robots and allies to us as well. That's cool. He wanted to be an ally to that Spanish robot. There was one he spoke English and he showed up in Peru. He was in the Volkswagen. He untransforms, the tranquility of the butterfly, and then he's like, "Oi, papi, where'd you get that accent from? Like, where you from?" He said he's from Cybertron. What accent are you talking about? Nah, you're a little racist, Hermano. And then he was like, "What? How could that be?" Man, that was hilarious. That's the best joke of the whole entire movie. I have to rewatch that joke over and over again. I love that joke. Good humor. Lightheartedness when it needed to be, serious also when it needed to be, like when the bird changed and started becoming evil. Just do it. It got serious when it needed to be. Stakes were great. Scourge of the villain, cool. But Unicron is that mega villain. And Unicron is very scary. I don't know how you fight this thing. It seems to have found Earth. Maybe it's going to take years and years to finally get here. That's the franchise for you. They're building. The fighting was awesome. And that's what you want. What you wanted from a Transformers, you got from a Transformers. Chillmonger out.